Bugatti didn't think that we were going to be able to separate this car in half and put it back together.
We're looking good, we're looking good.
But we managed to do both of them.
Matt Armstrong just did something no one in the automotive world has ever done before. A car with a globally blacklisted VIN.
But we managed to solve the problem with just a tiny fuse. And that fuse was...
A car the CEO of one of the most powerful brands on earth said was impossible to fix outside of their own factory. And he brought it back to life. But here's the part nobody is talking about. It's not just that he fixed it. It's everything that happened in between. The threats, the secrets, the backroom deals, the phone calls that weren't supposed to happen. The moment a CEO fired back publicly at a YouTube mechanic, and the mechanic didn't flinch. Matt Armstrong said he was going to tell us everything. And everything is a lot more than any of us expected. This is the story they didn't want told. Before we get into what Matt discovered, you need to understand what he was actually dealing with. Because most people see a crashed Bugatti on a Florida auction lot and think, damaged car, insurance job, move on. They don't understand what was really at stake. The Bugatti Chiron Per Sport is not a car. Not really. It's a statement. It's 60 individual engineering masterpieces, each one numbered, each one tracked by the factory from the moment the first carbon fiber panel is laid. Bugatti knows where every single one is in the world at any given moment. They know who owns it. They know its service history. They know it's been like they know their own children. There are 60 of them. 60 on the entire planet. Each one worth $6 million in perfect condition. So when one of those 60 ends up on Copar with a smashed front end, deployed airbags, a shattered gearbox housing, and a rebuilt title, Bugatti doesn't just write it off. They reach in and they lock it. They blacklist a VIN and they tell every single authorized supplier in the world, do not sell this man a single bolt. Do not touch this car. Do not help him. It is dead to us and it should be dead to you. That is not a company protecting its customers. That is a company protecting its mythology. And Matt Armstrong was about to expose exactly why. Miami-based creator Alex Gonzalez bought the record auction for $1.6 million, plus fees bringing the total to close to $2 million. He knew what he had. He also knew he needed the right person. He called Matt Armstrong. Now, if you don't know Matt, here's what you need to understand. No formal training. No manufacturer certification. No specialist qualifications. Just a man from Leicester who started rebuilding cars in a restaurant car park, figured things out as he went, and built one of the most genuine automotive channels on YouTube by being honest about every single mistake. When Bugatti heard Matt Armstrong was taking on the project, they were not worried. They should have been. The first thing Matt did was pull the car apart, and what he found inside told a story Bugatti never wanted public. The front end was gone. 10 radiators. 10, not 1, not 2, 10 were destroyed. The gearbox housing had shattered. The monocoque, the carbon fiber spine of the entire car, had taken a hit, and the engine had been pushed forward under the force of the impact. Bugatti's quoted repair price? $1.7 million. Let that number sit for a second. The car sold at auction for $1.6 million. Bugatti wanted $1.7 million just to fix it, before parts. Before labor overruns, before the things they find once they start stripping it down, which they always find. When Alex pushed back, Bugatti came down. Dramatically. $600,000. Friends and family rate. Full factory stamp. Full warranty. Full access. Matt tells us what Alex said no. And the reason is one of the most important details in this entire story. Once that car goes to Molsheim and they start stripping it, the price goes up. Every new problem they find adds to the bill. And once it's stripped in France, it's stuck there. $2 million in. And the car is on the other side of the world on a workbench with no guarantee of when it comes back or how much it costs. Alex said no. Bugatti did not take that well. This is where the story gets dark. The VIN was locked. Globally. Every authorized Bugatti supplier received the same instruction. Do not sell parts of this car to anyone. Not the headlights. Not the airbags. Not the door cards. Nothing. Bugatti then went one step further. They issued a public statement suggesting the car was dangerous. They said the chassis had taken structural damage. They said the gearbox housing had shattered. They said a proper repair required specialist facilities that only existed in 2 places in the world, and neither of those places was Matt Armstrong's workshop in Leicester. Every word of that was technically true. None of it was a whole story. Because here is what Bugatti knew and didn't say. The Chiron Per Sport is built by Volkswagen Audi Group, the same company that makes your Audi A3. And when Matt Armstrong sourced a replacement airbag for the Chiron, a safety-critical component, the exact component Bugatti said could not be safely replaced outside their factory, he found something extraordinary. The Audi A3 airbag was identical. Same part number, same bolt holes, same Volkswagen Audi stamp on the casing. A safety-critical component from a $6 million Bugatti, available at Audi prices, because underneath the carbon fiber and the horseshoe grille and the 60 number plaques, the Chiron is a Volkswagen Group product. And Bugatti knew that. They just never wanted you to know it too. Then came the moment that changed everything. Mate Rimac, the CEO of Bugatti, made a response video to a YouTube mechanic from Leicester. Think about what that means. The chief executive of one of the most exclusive automotive brands on earth, a man who built an entire company and sold a stake in it to Porsche, sat down and recorded a public response to a rebuild series filmed in a workshop. He raised the airbag concerns. He raised the chassis split. He questioned the cost figures Matt had been quoting. He made the case that independent repair of a car like this was not just impractical, but genuinely dangerous. Matt watched the video live. Mid-rebuild, he paused the cameras, sat down, and went through every single point Rimac made one by one. On the headlights, Matt acknowledged Rimac was right, that from Bugatti Direct they cost around £20,000. But since Bugatti refused to sell them, the only available source on the open market was charging $150,000. That was the reality Matt was working in, and no CEO response changed that reality. On the airbags, the Audi A3 part number says everything that needs to be said. On the chassis split, Matt said simply, "I have no choice but to try." And the fact that someone's telling me it's impossible makes me want to do it more. He wasn't angry. He wasn't defensive. He was calm, methodical, and completely unmovable. And then he said something that landed harder than anything else in the video. "I may need Maddie's help in the future. I'd love to own a Bugatti one day. I don't want beef. We're both car people. We both love the same cars." He wasn't playing the villain. He wasn't playing the hero either. He was just telling the truth. Bugatti had no answer for that. What happened next is the part that makes this story more than just a rebuild, because Matt didn't just fix the car. He started pulling back a curtain that Bugatti has kept closed for decades. And what was behind it changes how you look at every hypercar manufacturer, not just Bugatti. The gearbox housing was a problem everyone expected to stop the project. Bugatti engineers designed it to shatter deliberately in a crash. It is a sacrificial component, engineered to absorb impact forces and redirect energy away from the engine and chassis. That is brilliant engineering. The problem is that a component designed to be sacrificed is also a component designed never to be repaired. Bugatti's answer was always, replace it. Their price for replacement, astronomical. Their willingness to sell it with a blacklisted VIN, zero. Matt's answer? Find a specialist welder and TIG weld it back together. A component designed by Bugatti's finest engineers to be unrepairable, welded back together in a workshop. And it worked. Then there were the radiators. 10 of them. Destroyed. Bugatti won't sell them. The market price for source units was in the hundreds of thousands. So Matt brought in Bob. Bob runs a machine shop. He had no CAD files. No Bugatti blueprints. No factory spec sheets. He had the destroyed originals, a caliper, and 60 hours of his time. He fabricated replacement radiators by hand. Custom units that bolted directly onto the Chiron's chassis using the original mounting points with exact thread patterns he measured and replicated himself. Bob, in a machine shop, 60 hours, solving a problem that Bugatti said required factory facilities. The chassis split was the one that made everyone hold their breath. Bugatti's public position was that splitting the Chiron required proprietary equipment, factory-trained technicians, and specialist facilities that barely existed outside Motium. Attempting it without those things risked catastrophic damage to the monocoque and potentially made the car unsafe to drive forever. Matt's team, himself his dad, a retired mobile mechanic, and his teammate Liam, Matt's equipment, a 2-post lift and the wheelbase of a garbage can. A garbage can. They split one of only 60 Bugatti